Good morning. My name's Chris Brown. I'm an analyst with Morgans Financial. I'm here this morning with Richard Cottee, the Managing Director and Chief Executive of Central Petroleum. Richard was formerly the Managing Director and CEO of Queensland Gas Company, took that from a share price of 18 cents or so to $5.75 as it moved through exploration, development and into production. Richard's now with Central Petroleum, which is moving through the same sort of stages. Richard, can you tell us a little bit about Central Petroleum's current production and where you see the company going?
Presently, following the close of Mereenie in September, we'll be producing around about 10 terajoules a day, around about 8 or 9 petajoules per annum into the Northern Territory gas market, as well as about 400 barrels a day of oil. The acquisition will make, for the first time, Central cash flow positive and eating into its tax losses, so it's lost its core competency of creating tax losses. So we're basically, I believe, about the same stage as 4 years in of my reign at QGC. The fundamentals are absolutely right. Catalyst yet to come with the Interconnect, which I think is absolutely certain, or getting as close to certain as you can when you're dealing with politicians and that. If that comes about, then we should be making, or we should be able to sell at least equity accounted 15, not 20, or 20 petajoules into it, and our cost of production are only $1 a gigajoule ex-field on existing form. So we should be making sure between 50 and 100 million a year by the time the first gas flows.
With the Interconnect, do you have any light yet on exactly where it's going to go or the sort of gas volumes you might be able to ship down it?
Oh, look, I'm aware of all the bids. Two are going to go through Mount Isa, through Moomba. They're varying sizes. So that it's government is going to select the one that they think meets all their criteria best. There's rises from a 20-inch line to type stuff down to the 14-inch line, so it's going to be pretty interesting. It depends on how much, what is the tariff, what is the strategic merit, if any, that the government puts on the selections, etc. So we'll know that all in around about, the final bids go in September, we know the result in October. So we'll know the answer to that question with certainty then.
There's been some talk from the heads of international companies about gas reservation policy for industrial companies in Australia. Do you have a view on domestic gas reservation policies?
Look, as I understand it, Section 92 of the Constitution says the trade and intercourse between the states shall be absolutely free. That actually prevents New South Wales from being able to screw South Australia. They can't actually direct South Australia, sell at a discount to New South Wales because our government policies have bankrupted our state and we have no gas. So at the end of the day, a reservation policy can work intrastate. But the states that actually need the gas have decided they don't want to have their own indigenous gas, so they can't be a reservation policy.
I recall when you were the MD of Queensland Gas talking with you about the integration of the Australian gas market and linking the entire East Coast and through to Adelaide. Northern Territory was always outside of that link at that time. Does this obviously join the territory to the East Coast, and what does that do for your gas market?
Well, clearly it does. I mean, I've been very privileged and been involved in the building of a lot of pipelines and killing of a few. This probably is the last missing link of Rex Connor's pipe dream for us old enough to remember the member for Wollongong. It will make enormous difference. It means our 279,000 square kilometres of acreage actually now has a market. And what QGC taught me was it's no use just having good acreage. You need to have markets. And so once the PNG gas pipeline died, then the rest became history on the growth for QGC. Markets are everything. It's no use having the product if you can't sell it.
So is the decision on the pipeline, the Interconnect, the final step in the puzzle for you?
It is when we can bring in the architects. The foundations are really solid.
Thanks very much, Richard.
Thanks.